teach you the steps of the counseling process, and so I will go through it slowly, carefully. The purpose of the video is to help you to go through the counseling process in an easy and in the correct manner. So the first step in counseling is kindness and courtesy. So you welcome the person to the counseling session. You begin by giving the person a few positive strokes, welcoming them, making them feel comfortable to sit down through the process of counseling. The second step that you haven't to forget is informing the counselee, or what we call psycho-educating the counselee, that whatever is discussed at the counseling session is private and will not be divulged to anybody. That is the second step. Then you come to step number 3, which is attending and listening. The counselor will sit and disclose his or her problem, and you will respond with empathy. What is empathy? It is picking out the feeling of the person and the reason for the feeling. Empathy has been taught to you, and so you will say you are upset because of whatever, or you are worried because of whatever. So remember to pick out the feeling word. Empathize with the person. Empathy is putting yourself in the shoes of the other and understanding the person. When a counselee feels heard, the counselee will divulge further information, and we call this ventilating. Counselee gives more information. You absorb the information and you can summarize a little bit of what has happened in between. When the counselee feels understood, the counselee will go through a process called catharsis. There will be a show of emotion. Maybe the counselee would cry, or maybe the counselee would show deep anger, or whatever emotion the counselee is feeling. This is very, very important step. Then what you need to do is to understand what the counselee is going through and see if the counselee has the capacity to get a solution to his own problem. Because every counselee has his own solution to his problem. So help him to understand his problem, help him to personalize the situation. What was his role in the situation? Help him to understand that he played a role in the situation. Go through positive intention. What was the person who hurt or harmed the counselee? What was his positive intention? The sentence that we have done with you is, everything anyone says or does to you is always for the good of the person saying or doing it. Remember that if John is angry with you and John says something that is hurtful to you, it is good for John, because John's heart rate has increased and he probably would have gotten a heart attack had he not shouted at you. So understand the positive intention of the other person. Help the counselee to understand that. Then when the counselee gives you his or her ideas about how he can handle his situation, you could add 1 or 2 more of your own if you could suggest, if there are other ways that you can see the situation can be handled and can be overcome. Brainstorm Allow the counselee to choose his or her easy path, because no counselee will do a job which he or she finds too difficult to accomplish. Make the task easy for the counselee to accomplish and make an appointment for the following session. If the counselee requires to be taught one of the skills like assertiveness or confrontation, you can go through the skill with the counselee. You can encourage the counselee to write down their what they're going to say, to practice what they're going to say, and leave them free to learn to handle their own problem. Remember, the counseling session is not to make the counselee dependent on you. The purpose of the counseling session is to make the counselee independent of you, able to understand his or her own problems and able to deal with his or her own problems. That is the purpose of counseling. I will go through the steps. First is kindness and courtesy. You welcome the person. Second is psycho-education. You inform them that their information that is divulged is private. Then you attend and listen. And at this time you will use the skill of empathy. Then you will summarize and clarify. You will help the counselee to personalize the situation, to see the positive intention of the other person. You will encourage the counselee to find his or her own solution. You will assist the counselee if the counselee requires any skill, and if the counselee, if there are other options that are available, you could suggest those options. Assist the counselee to handle the situation, to use the skill that is needed. Train the counselee to use the skill that is needed, and leave the counselee free to handle his or her own problem. Remember, the counseling session is to make the counselee independent of you. I hope that this video helps you in conducting a good counseling session. Remember that catharsis will happen, and you've got to empathize when catharsis happens. I wish you all the best in the counseling that you are going to do. This is Teacher Grandma, a teacher for 34 years, a grandmother of 2 pretty little girls, signing off, reminding you to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Do not forget to do that. Till we meet again.